Warning! This video is one of many opinions, and you are welcome to disagree with any of the views expressed in the video. I would implore each of you to reach your own conclusions on the film, if you care, and not to just take my word as a definitive one. I shouldn't have to say this, but internet will internet. Well, I haven't done a review in a while, but I mean, could you really blame me? The last movie I saw was Cats, and sitting down and talking about that sounds like hell. So instead of going to the deepest level of hell, we're just going to, the second level of hell. I seem to be in the minority of opinions as of late. I didn't like the new Pokemon game, I didn't think Byleth was a bad addition, and in my opinion, the Ash and Wolves DLC sucked. Basically, whatever's the dominant opinion of this movie at the moment, you can safely guarantee that I probably feel the exact opposite. The TDLR in this video is going to simply be this movie was a massive mistake. Although I appreciate the studio behind this movie being willing to take criticism, I'm judging this movie on its filmmaking merits, not how receptive the people behind it are. This film was going to be bad, regardless of how much Sonic looked like Sonic or how many speed-based jokes they could cram in there. I'm not really surprised. The writers on the film have a well-documented ability to produce bad or mediocre shit. In fact, one of the writers, Orion Uzel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, created a film called Freaks of Nature, 5 stars on IMDb, and the infamous Cloverfield Paradox, which I don't believe needs any introductions. What else did you really expect? On a technical storytelling level, this movie does nothing I haven't seen done better in other films. It ultimately boils down to a hodgepodge of different genres of themes that do not meld together in any possible way. I'm about to get into spoilers, so there's going to be a nice handy timestamp on the screen. Click it if you like to miss the juicy memes. The 3 acts of this film do not work together, and each feels like a different story taken from a different movie with Sonic just photoshopped in. That is partly why the film feels so tonally aborted. In a kids movie, there are jokes about violent gang shootouts, drug dealers, divorce, and the casual mention of terrorism. Hell, there's even a scene where they get into a bar fight. In the same movie that opens with a CGI animated island filled with racist agenda, they go to having someone pull a gun on Dr. Robotnik. Speaking of which, I was always against having Jim Carrey play Robotnik. He never fit the role for me, and his energy just felt off. With that said, he is the most enjoyable aspect of this film, with pure charisma and energy carrying his performance. Although his drones look nothing like how they do in the games, I was completely okay with that because they had preserved the spirit of the character, being a reliance on technology over anything else. It made me really happy to see them call Robotnik, Robotnik throughout the movie, but instead they start calling him Eggman for no fucking reason. The whole reason he's called Eggman is because he's fat and shaped like an egg, in a flying mobility scooter. It's just a really confusing choice to start calling him Eggman out of the blue. I know why they did it. They did it because it's a more marketable and recognizable name. Nobody knows Robotnik by Robotnik anymore. They know him by Eggman, which sucks, but, you know, that's just how it is. As long as we're on the topic of characters, one of the mains is a cop from a small town called Green Hills, and I wish I could tell you his name. I think it was John or something sufficiently forgettable. His motivations are not really explained, but now that I'm thinking about it, I vaguely remember him saying he's helping Sonic go to San Francisco because he feels bad about having caused Sonic to lose his rings, but I don't fucking remember. Our title character, Sonic, is probably the most characterized, but even he follows the most predictable, family-friendly, buddy cop for kids character arc you can imagine. He is a lonely outcast that lives in a forest and just wants a friend. It's a simple and sufficiently childlike motivation, and I think it really works in the setting, even if it reminds me of the Woody the Woodpecker movie or any of the horrendous modernizations that come out of Hollywood as of late. Also, Tails in this movie. Fuck you. The comedy in this film was one of the worst aspects about it. Cringeworthy jokes are spewed almost always as Sonic can't not make a speed joke or shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. I counted 3 times where Sonic flossed. You know, this fucking dance. And I saw at least 2 kids joining in the dancing. One of them was right next to me, so I couldn't even laugh silently without feeling like a dick. There was this one scene where Sonic pushes the main hero and his wife off the cliff, and this was probably the first time in the movie where I actually laughed. Even though that's just because I'm an awful person, and that definitely was not intended. One of my conditions to seeing this film was that I would not go alone. On that note, I got 2 friends to see it with me. One who has a low cringe tolerance, and the other who watches anime and dragged me to see Weathering with You when it came out. The first perpetually had a face of discomfort and annoyance whenever a joke was made. The most entertainment we had was chanting "dead" every time Sonic did something stupid and looked like he wasn't moving. As for my other friend, he slumped back in his chair and covered his face every time a joke was made, or when Sonic started flossing. Just keep in mind, we saw an anime trailer before the movie began, and my boy didn't even flinch. As a longtime Sonic fan, I can safely tell you, this movie probably killed whatever hope I had left, which, after I found out Onision was still alive, was pretty small all things considered. At the moment, my score for the movie is a 2 out of 10. Please keep in mind this score is subject to change over time. If I decide to change it at any point, there will be a link to my letterbox where you can see the full listing of movies I've watched, including ones I didn't do reviews on. Something that I didn't talk about but bothers me about this movie is the clearly Marvel-inspired Sega title card at the beginning of the film. I remember when this first came out, I was joking about Sega Cinematic Universe. I guess we're getting that for real now, huh?